Hi, I'm John Fitzgerald and welcome to this week's edition of Team Wealth Builders. The big question I get asked all the time, should I lock in now? Should I lock in now? Now, that isn't a yes or no. And the reason it's not a yes or no is because locking in does two things for us. Yes, it fixes your cash flow, which is positive, but it also improves your borrowing capacity. A lot of people say, should I be waiting to lock in? And am I going to therefore get a better cash flow? Well, it depends on whether you look to build wealth this year. Let me explain. Had a client of ours from Kyabra who owned 3 properties, wanting to buy his 4th. He was told by the bank that he had no borrowing capacity. But what was important to him was to get that 4th property, rather than save, I think he worked it out to be about $60 a week by locking in, and he was on a variable rate, rather than save the money by waiting, which is what he wanted to do. He wanted to wait and locked in. So he had no borrowing capacity, couldn't buy the 4th property. Then he rejiggled his finances where he locked in his rates. The bank gave him a $400,000 loan. How does that work? If your interest rate today is, call it 5.2%, the bank will calculate your repayments at 7.2%. So it significantly diminishes your borrowing capacity. So if you're waiting to lock in, it could preclude you from buying that next property. I would advise you to get that next property. Why? Because you could make $100,000 out of that in the next 1-2 years. That's why. And the saving by waiting to lock in might only be $5,000 or $6,000. So if you do the maths, you're far better off building your portfolio. I also think that 2014 is going to provide you with opportunities to get the lower fixed rates, because it's determined by what the US is doing by pumping so much money and liquidity into the market at 0.25%, guaranteed till the end of 2014, and then as long as it takes and as much as it takes. Now that's coming down under. It's affecting us in Australia. So I think we're going to have a period where we will have low interest rates, and you have got time. But you're not going to have time to duplicate your portfolio because the market is taking wind now. We have got growth in the market, there's activity in the market, and as I've kept on saying in the major capitals, it's cheaper to buy than to rent. So what's going to happen? Prices will go up. So should you lock in now or not? Really depends on whether you're in a growth phase and you want to maximise that growth, or whether you've actually solidified your portfolio and you're happy just to live off the cash flow. I'm a growth person, so I haven't locked in. Yet I certainly thought about it because I was concerned about interest rates going up. After the Reserve Bank's meeting in May, I realised that's not a concern for me in the short term. Thanks for listening to me.